Hello, good afternoon, everybody. Hope that Earth, Wind, and Fire was getting you excited for Instagram 1.0 today. So just hope that you're all having a great week. We are halfway there. Happy Wednesday. For those of you who I haven't got a chance to meet yet, my name is Claire Rogers, and I'm the social media specialist for Texas and Colorado. I'm really looking forward to meeting all of you that I haven't gotten a chance to meet yet and help you grow your business through social, all through these trainings and in any one-on-one sessions as well. Today is our Instagram 1.0 training where are going to be talking about essentially the basics of the platform and really why you should be investing time into making your personal profile great. As I'm going through, if you have any questions, feel free to put those in the chat. I'll be monitoring it as we're going through and answering them as we go, but I'm also going to leave a few minutes at the end to answer any questions. If you'd like to come off of mute, that will be the perfect time to do that as well. I will also be recording this session and sending out a follow-up email with the recording itself as well as the slides that we're going to go through today. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. Here we go. So I want to start today by looking at Instagram by the numbers, just so you can get a really good feel about why you should be investing your time on the platform and making yours specifically great. For starters, on a monthly basis, over 1 billion people use Instagram every single month. That is making it the second highest used social media in the whole world, right behind Facebook. Of those 1 billion users, the average person spends 30 minutes per day on the app. That may not seem like a lot, but with everything social media, everything is super fast-paced. So to give a little bit of context for that for you, on average, people are seeing about 10 posts or stories per minute. So within that 30 minutes, someone is on Instagram for the day, they're going to be seeing 180 different posts on average. So obviously lots of different exposure to different accounts and different forms of media as well. So 81% of all users use Instagram to research products and services. If you spend any time on Instagram, especially on your Explore page, you'll see that the amount of businesses that are taking up space there is huge, and it's definitely grown a lot over the past couple of years. Me personally, I would say over half of my Explore page is professional businesses or services. And really that's because I'm just constantly looking for new places to shop, new local restaurants, everything in between, all of that directly on my Instagram. And so are 81% of people that are using it. It's a huge hub for businesses right now. 500 million people are using stories every single day. So that means half of the entire Instagram community is using stories on a daily basis. That is half the people using them every single day. And truly, that's just an unprecedented number of posters when it comes to social media. A lot of people do not engage that much on a platform, and Instagram is really unique in that way. Just because stories are usually really casual and easy to post, since they've been implemented, posting on the app has completely skyrocketed because of them. If you want to learn more about stories and how to leverage those in your own business, definitely encourage you to come to our Instagram 2.0 class tomorrow, same time. I'll be plugging those a little bit as we go through because we'll be going into further depth tomorrow about that. The average Instagram business account also posts once per day on their feed, along with multiple times a day to their story. Over 200 million people visit at least one business profile per day for any and everything, whether that's because they found their post just scrolling on the Explore page or through an ad that came up on their feed or as they were tapping through other people's stories. And the last statistic that I really wanted to call out today for you guys was that 51% of users are female and 49% are male. I really think a lot of the time when we think about Instagram, it's somehow thought of to be a more feminine platform, but these statistics are really just showing us that there's even pieces of the pie for everyone, and it's really an important place to be on. So all of these statistics are really telling us that firstly, so many people are on Instagram and they're using it regularly. It's also telling us that a lot of people turn to Instagram to find businesses and brands that they either want to buy from or work with all the time. So just solely for those reasons alone, you definitely should be making yourself, your business, and your expertise visible on the app. All right, so now that you know why you should be on Instagram, let's talk about how you can actually be successful on it. The first step in doing that is to understand the Instagram algorithm. So we're going to spend the next few minutes talking about the algorithm a little bit in depth. So people talk about the algorithm a lot, especially for Instagram, but what exactly is it? Essentially, its purpose is to surface the best, most relevant content to every individual every time that they check their Instagram feed. So if you've been on Instagram for the past few years, you'll know that really that wasn't always the case. In years past, you would only see the posts from people that you follow, and they were always in chronological order. So you would see the most recent things down to what had been posted later. So now feeds and the Explore page are curated specifically for each user. There's a mix of posts from people that they follow along with suggested posts. I'm sure a couple of you have seen those as you're going through your own Instagram. And what those suggested posts are posts that the algorithm think that users will like even if they don't follow that account. So the algorithm uses machine learning to really constantly track a user's activity. We know how smart Instagram and Facebook is, and they're keeping tabs on what a user enjoys seeing, what they like interacting with, and what they don't like on their feed. So it's constantly evolving and updating for every person. I know that there's one other thing that has been implemented kind of recently that has been helpful for the algorithm. If you see something that is a suggested post or see something on your Explore feed, you can click into it as a user and say that you want to see less of those types of posts. So the algorithm is taking all of this into account as they're figuring out a person's individualized feed. So Instagram has come out and let us know that there are 6 most important ranking factors. These are the 6 that the algorithm takes into account as it's curating each person's feed and Explore page. Those 6 things are interest, timeliness, relationship, frequency, following, and usage. So interest is simply how much Instagram thinks a user will care about a specific post. So these types of assumptions are essentially based on a person's past actions, like how they've interacted with certain types of posts before, and if they interact with these specific types of posts a lot, the algorithm wants to make sure that they're showing similar posts high up in the feed. Timeliness is how recently a post was made. So the algorithm definitely wants to show users the most up-to-date information, the freshest information. So it keeps those most recent posts higher in the feed than something that's maybe been up for a few days. Relationship is whether a person has interacted with an account before, and if they have, how regularly they interact with it. Obviously, if a person always likes a page's posts, frequently comments on them, and saves them for later or sends them to their friends in a DM, they're going to be prioritized much higher in a feed than a post from an account that a user has never interacted with before. So frequency is how often a user opens the Instagram app. So this matters to the algorithm because if they only open it, say, once every couple of days, the algorithm is really going to try to capture their attention right off and put those most engaging posts for that person at the very top of the feed. as we all know, the goal is to keep people on the app for as long as possible, and that is what they're going to be trying to do with that frequency. So following is the actual accounts that a user intentionally follows. Of course, these are the people that follow your page and always want to see every single one of your posts and your stories. So as every single post of someone that an account follows will show up on their feed. And finally, usage is how long a user spends on Instagram itself. So that ranking factor is going to help the algorithm decide how much variety to really show someone, just based on if they spend a long amount of time or a short amount of time on the app on a regular basis. All right, so even though there really is a ton of different posts and information about how to hack the algorithm, I'm sure we've all seen those posts. Just remember, the most important thing to Instagram is keeping people on their app. That is their sole purpose of having this algorithm. They want people to be interacting and spending more time on it. So the way that they're going to do that is to showcase things people like based on what they interact with. So creating content and posts that are encouraging engagement is the most beneficial thing you can do. And always keep that front of mind when you're thinking about your posts. Other specific ways that you can work with the algorithm are to embrace Instagram's latest features. The algorithm really loves when you use new features, whether those are a new interactive attachment on a story or big rollouts like Reels. So to get a feel for those features in a more in-depth way, I'm going to plug it again. Definitely tune in tomorrow for my Instagram 2.0 training. We go into more depth on those features then. So sharing and saving posts have become really the big engagement sign for the Instagram algorithm. So creating content that encourages those things is super important when you want to get views on your posts. So for sharing, try thinking about what types of posts people are going to want to share to their story or send to their friends through a private DM, like to chat with them about. And then when it comes to saving, think about the things that people will want to refer back to at a later date. So usually those types of posts are super helpful and insightful information that can maybe be useful to someone further down the line. The most common types of these types of savable and sendable posts for the real estate sphere specifically are things like home buying tips and hacks and really cool, beautiful properties. People love sending those around too. So Instagram also likes to show users the type of creative that they engage with more. So that is likely very different for every single person that follows you and every single person that could potentially follow you in the future. So it's extremely vital for you guys to be posting a variety of different types of creative. So that can be single images, multiple images, as you know, like a carousel where you can swipe through up to 10 photos, and videos. So always make sure that you're posting a variety of different things. We don't only want single images. We don't only want videos. We want all of it because people respond differently to each type. So because we know that timeliness is a ranking factor for the Instagram algorithm, it's super important to be posting when your audience is online, which is essentially going to be the best time for you and for your business. So the way that you can find that information is you can go onto the insights in your phone on your profile, click into your audience and scroll to the most active times section. That's going to give you that good data about when your audience is online the most and at what times. Instagram also likes to see that you're replying directly to messages that you get and to any comments that you receive on your posts. So make sure that you're replying to those in as timely of a manner as you can. I know that that can kind of get difficult sometimes, especially if you're running around town, doing showings, having meetings, but really, really try to be in there and respond to any comments and messages that you get at least 2 times a day. All right. So now let's hop into how to establish your business profile on Instagram, because it's going to be really important to making sure that you have all the statistics you need to move forward and be successful. So Taylor just asked a great question. She said, do you get analytics or insights on a personal account, or is it just a business account? So you do not get any analytics or insights on your personal account, which is why we're going to really be talking about in these next few minutes, establishing specifically your business account. You want to make sure that you're doing that, because if you don't, you're not going to get this really, really helpful information. All right, so if you haven't already, you will need to make your account a professional account. So to do that, just click on the 3 horizontal lines at the top right of your screen when you're in the Instagram app. Some people call it the hamburger icon, those 3 horizontal lines. Then you will click on the settings wheel at the top to take you to the settings page, which is screenshotted right here on this slide. And then at the bottom in blue, as we have highlighted here, just click on switch to professional account and select your category. So the most pertinent ones that we have for us are real estate agent, and real estate company. But of course, if it's your personal agent business account, definitely choose real estate agent. So from there, you'll be adding in all of your contact information and connect your Facebook page. You don't have to connect it to your Facebook, but I highly recommend doing it so the 2 platforms can talk to each other. If you don't know, Facebook owns Instagram, so all of their features are really, really well integrated. So I would absolutely recommend linking the 2. All right. So you have a lot of different ways that you can customize your profile, but I want to really call out some things that are best practices for your page when you're implementing these changes. A big part of establishing your brand on social is to try and keep your social handles as consistent as possible across all of your different social medias. So you are able in Instagram to change your handle at any time. So if for some reason you're starting from scratch, you're signing up for Twitter, for Facebook, for Instagram, for everything, and on another social media, you don't have the option or your name is taken, you can go into Instagram and change that one at any point. So it might be a good rule of thumb to start with Instagram and Facebook and then go to those other channels. So because Instagram is just a super visual platform, you'll want to make sure that your profile picture is high quality, make sure that it's eye-catching. The most common photos that real estate agents use are your headshots. So just get your most up-to-date headshot in there. And in the name section, include some variation of your name, what you do, and your location. So usually that part will read something like Claire Rogers, pipe separator, Coldwell Banker, real estate agent, pipe separator, Dallas, Texas, and maybe an emoji or 2. I love emojis, so I would definitely put one in there. And they're a little bit more eye-catching and fun. You also have a 150 character bio section that you can tell a little bit more about yourself and what you do. So you can add in any hashtags in your bio, and I highly recommend if you have any personal hashtags, this is a great place to put it in there along with the hashtag Coldwell Banker hashtag. In the website field, definitely make sure to include a link to your personal website. As we all know, driving traffic to your website is such a big part of having a successful career. So definitely make sure you have it in there. Just another way to drive traffic easily to that site. And finally, your bio is a place that you definitely want to be yourself and be creative. People are coming to you and working with you because of you and your personality. So feel free to use emojis and other design enhancements to do just that in your bio. All right. So now for the more technical side of things, if you've never used Instagram to make a post, or you haven't used it in a while, because honestly it has changed quite a bit, here's a little rundown of how to actually make a feed post. So you're going to start by going to your home feed, and you want to click on the plus sign at the top right-hand corner of your home feed. From there, you'll be able to choose the photo, video, or multiples of both that you would like to post. So multiples of both, you can post multiple, up to 10 photos, up to 10 videos, or up to 10 of each. You can have both videos and photos within the same carousel. You will then click next at the top right-hand corner where you'll be taken to the editing page. If you want, you can make edits to your images and to your videos there. Truthfully, Instagram on the platform, they don't have a ton of high quality editing options. So I personally would suggest editing your photos through a different app, maybe through like Lightroom or VSCO. And after that, you'll just click the next button in the top right-hand corner again. Then you will be able to write your caption and include any relevant hashtags, and if possible, tag any users, as if there's another person in the post, make sure to tag them as well, and a location. I always encourage you to add a location to each one of your posts, just because these are searchable like hashtags are, and it's just another free, easy way for you to get exposure. You also have the option to share your post to other social media pages at this point. They have little toggle buttons. If you want to share it, you press the toggle to turn it blue, and then it will also share when you post. And then finally, all you'll need to do is just hit share at the top right-hand corner, and your post will be posted. So when it comes to being discovered and getting visibility on your posts on Instagram, one of the easiest ways to do that is through hashtags, and hashtags on Instagram are super beneficial. So best practices really do vary platform to platform. So it's extremely important for you guys to know what those are for each individual social media channel. For Instagram specifically, they recommend the recommended number of hashtags is 5 to 10 per post, which is awesome. That's a good amount, and allows you to get even more visibility on your posts without being penalized for it. If you can, and it makes sense, include relevant hashtags in the body of your caption as part of a normal sentence. So that, an example of that would be, check out this new hashtag listing of the week that is in Plano, or something like that, including a hashtag into the actual sentence. But for most of your hashtags, you'll want to include them as your post's first comment. This means you make the post without including the hashtags, and then you go in once it's posted and create a comment that includes those 5 to 10 hashtags. So the reason that you would do that is because it helps from making your posts look spammy, and also it still has you showing up for each individual tag. You will also want to make sure that your account is public so that your hashtags are searchable. If your account is private, no one will be able to find you, and there will essentially no benefit to using hashtags at all. I encourage every single one of you to have a public account. I think you're doing yourself a disservice if you have your Instagram is private. You're not getting any visibility other than people who are following you already. So to monitor the hashtags that are drawing the most attention and engagement on Instagram, you'll just need to search for them in the app directly to see how many posts they have. So this screenshot right here on this slide is what a hashtag search looks like. So you can see how many overall posts there are. For this one, for hashtag Texas real estate, you can see there's 301,000. You can also see the top posts, and you can see the most recent posts as well. You can also see that you can click this blue follow button to follow a hashtag. And what that means, if you do decide to follow a hashtag, is that you'll get some of the top posts per week just put into your home feed automatically. All right, looks like we have a question. Yes, okay, so yesterday, if you weren't at my Facebook training, 1 to 2 hashtags on Facebook is encouraged, whereas as we see here, 5 to 10 hashtags is the appropriate amount. So when it comes to, like I said, toggling between posting your hashtag or posting your post from Instagram to the actual feed, you can absolutely share it that way, and putting it as your putting your hashtags as your caption avoids having to bring any extra hashtags to the Facebook platform, if that makes sense. I always encourage to do things separately, but if you want to make sure that you want to have the exact same post on both platforms, just add those hashtags in as a comment, and you will not have to worry about getting dinged on Facebook with the algorithm with having too many hashtags. I hope that answers your question, Caitlin. All right. Cool. So every hashtag starts with a £, and you cannot put any spaces, punctuation, or symbols in them, or they will break. Keep your hashtags as short and relevant as they can be. When I think about hashtags, I always think about relevancy the most, because something that I think gets a little bit misconstrued with hashtags is that bigger is always better, which is just absolutely not the case. When it comes to big hashtags that have a lot of followings, it's easy to get lost in the feeds, especially in the recent section. So making sure that your hashtags are the most relevant to your post and to your business is super important. If you think about it like this, if obviously hashtag real estate has a ton of following, it has a lot of people looking at it, and a lot of posts, it's still going to be better for you and your business if you're a Dallas realtor to do hashtag Dallas real estate, because the probability of someone looking at that hashtag is much higher than being a potential client of yours, whether or other than someone looking at hashtag real estate that could be across the world. All right, so that is all that I have for the Instagram 1.0 training. I'm going to be opening it up to questions right now, so feel free to put your questions in the chat or come off mute if you have any. All right, I don't see anybody typing. So if you do have any further questions, feel free to shoot me an email. Claire, oh, did I hear somebody come off?
Yes, Claire, this is Audrey. I'm not, because I don't want to be, but I'm on my cell phone with Instagram open, but I don't see the hamburger, if you will, where to go to settings.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you will go all the way to your Facebook page, are you on the home page?
Oh, go to Facebook and not Instagram?
Oh, sorry, excuse me, Instagram. I'm so sorry.
Okay, I am on Instagram, yes, and the house is blackened out, so I'm assuming I am at the home page.
Okay, so you'll want to click on your photo at the bottom right corner, and then you'll see that hamburger.
Got it, the bottom right. Okay, okay, thank you.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, perfect. Does anybody else have any questions before we wrap it up today? Sweet. Like I said, if you guys have any more questions, feel free to shoot me an email. I'm always open for any one-on-ones to answer any questions that you have. Tomorrow, I'm going to do one last plug. We're going to be going over more in-depth Instagram knowledge. So I highly recommend you sign up for that in Sales Pro. It's going to be called Instagram 2.0, and it's at the exact same time, 2 o'clock. For tomorrow, and it's just going to have a lot of good information that expands on what we learned today. So I hope that you can all sign up and be there today, but I will be sending out this recording. So if you have any questions for me